Hello, friends and partners. Welcome back. Sergeant Sarah with Illuminate Ministries. It's time again for another Mission Minute. I want to thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure to have you here with me for a few minutes. And today I want to read a verse to you from 2 Corinthians. I want to ask you to please remind you to like and subscribe. It's 2 Corinthians 12:9, and it says, "And he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, most gladly, I will rather boast in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me." I like how it starts out talking about where there's grace for us, because it's his strength graces us when we're weak. But then it also wraps it up by saying the power of Christ rest upon us. It's not something that we have to strive or look or seek. It rests upon us. It comes upon us. And so I want to point out, it says that in my weakness, he becomes strong. In my weakness. In a previous Mission Minute, we read Philippians 1:29 from the Norley. It said, "Now you have been granted the grace, not only to believe in Christ, but also to suffer for him." And we talked about how we're graced to suffer persecution and lies and judgments. And we were talking about Jesus on the cross. So I want to go back to that image of Jesus on the cross. Everything that he has suffered for us. He was the innocent, spotless, blameless Lamb of God. Every accusation brought against him, he was faultless. He was innocent of all of it. And he's on the cross, and they're still making fun of him, mocking him. And he looks down there, this master of love. He had mastered love. He had perfected it. And he says, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing." The sinner on the cross beside him, he talked to him in those moments that he had before his life was taken from his body. He brought someone to heaven. He witnessed to that person. He forgave their sins and told them that they were going to be with him. This is love, in that weakened state that he was in. Love was still operating in him. That's what this verse is saying, is that in our weakness. And I was thinking that if we can't love one person, if we can't suffer wrongs from one person in our life, whether it's our spouse or our neighbor or our child or our boss or a co-worker, if we can't suffer, or the person who's not a Christian who persecutes us because they don't understand Christianity, they don't understand, if we can't suffer wrongs from one person, Jesus, our Father, was on that cross suffering how many wrongs from how many people for, oh my goodness, how many people, well, who knows how many people there were that had come together to accuse him falsely. And he suffered all of that. His grace is sufficient. So we could look at it and say that his love, the master's love, the one Jesus who mastered love, perfect love, the author of love, his love is made perfect or perfected when our love is weak. So when we're weak in love, because we are suffering from someone who is hurting us, oh boy, then his grace comes in. His grace is empowered in that weak love. And then our love becomes strong. Woo, we master that, because his love becomes strong when our love is being depleted and it's weak and it's been injured and it's been hurt. And then the power of Christ rests upon us. Why? Because we walked in love. We stayed in love. We allowed the master of love to operate his strong love through our weak love. Then we have the power of Christ, because he said that faith, hope, and love abide, but the greatest of these is love. Why? Because there's power in love. There is power in love. When we're in love, when we're walking in love, we're walking in the power of him. And we can be weak in love. We can be weak in love, but we can allow the grace and the greatness of God's power. You know, it reminds me of the movie The Karate Kid, and how he had to practice waxing, right? He was constantly wax it on, wax it off. Why am I doing this? So that he could perfect those movements that he needed, those karate movements that he needed to perfect. That's what's happening. We are practicing love. We are allowing our weakness, our weakened state, to become powerful. We are mastering love. Jesus was the example, and if he did it, we can do it because he gave us the Holy Spirit who is in us, and the Holy Spirit is love. Thank you for joining me for another Mission Minutes. This is Sergeant Sarah with 2 Illuminate Ministries, and I will see you next time.